Since before the founding of religious doctrine within the 1st century, the shadows of darkness understood precisely, the best method in order to control and conquer a people with religion, are a people who are of spirit and freedom. It is the people of the spirit, who will soon have to come to realize of how their very nature has been a weapon of control against them by those who has forever opposed their progress. It is imperative to understand that, when a system of rulership which has founded their system in violence has to implement a doctrine that is based upon a spiritual state of existence which opposes violence in its means of expression, and which has the ability to penetrate the very core of the mind of a spiritual community, there is an ulterior motive behind all of which they are performing. It has forever been one of control and therefore the intellectual conquering of a people in robbing them of their natural gifts of reasoning and therefore thinking process for their own evolution and independence. And who is it that can dare challenge the truth and its effect, by committing such a daring act of defiance in the presence of that which created all of which possesses power and ability to enforce total order? It has invariably been those who have asserted to be the most moral, the most humane in this living experience. However, have been those who have committed the most inhumane acts against humanity, is upon the levels of pure insanity. The very implication of evil since its creation by that which is divine, as complicated as it sounds, has been one to force humanity to compromise itself from within all men and women. As both light and darkness is within, both are one, and are in objective revealed to oppose one another for the sake of the ownership of the souls of every human being. The choosing of one or another is the constant duality within the environment of the earth, as each human being is left of an unstinting choice of existence. Yes, the destined natural choice of existence which is given, without the consent of that host whom is ordained to live a suffering state of being which in the same movement, is designed for a purpose that is of a good ending and yet, the prize of the beginning of a state of existence which is promised to be a time of an eternal bliss. A state of being left to be desired, to be dreamed of, lusted after because of the times of which is said to have been created by the foreparents of the children who are left not only to suffer in turmoil, but have been given the clarity to the keys which will inevitably open up the heavens within all who yearn for the time of peace and harmony within all. That what is within all can be fully and honestly expressed in creating an environment that is called heaven or paradise. For many centuries, what has been asserted to be written by way of the compassion of that Spirit which is holy, has in turn produced that which is unholy inside of mankind, because of his lust for power and control over his brother and sister. And yet, ordained to be revealed as those who are the phantoms of humanity as a whole in their intentions and aims in opposition to what is deemed righteous. The claims of that which is holy and true, has in effect a dual component which creates that which is unholy and an abstraction. While one has taken the honest time to observe oneself, one finds that the war is not with the external members of living, but, first within him or herself. It has forever been this battle or non-battle of the mind and spirit that created the world we live in that has in time, become a hindrance to the earth which has been crying out for mercy, and in the same movement, being merciful to the occupants of human endeavor who have abused their stay. For the human family to become the nemesis of his brother and sister, he and she must first, will have become the enemy of the creative force which has for a long time in fact, is seen and felt as a mystical and transcendental force of creation, that no one living will ever know entirely in fact. This leaves all of the human family to fall victim to different methods of thinking and conclusions, creating point of views, which breeds conflict and divisiveness between humanity, which opens the doors to centuries of wars and blood shed upon many soils of the earth. Unfortunately, mankind will never succeed in doing so, despite of how submitted and holy he or she boldly claims to be in their vanity. That which has been written of a truth that is coming from a source which man is unable to contaminate with his or her ideas, his religions or his political and intellectual chicanery, is that which will only be able to fix that, which itself has created from since mankind has been made known was the beginning of time. Written by David Anthony Brayboy.